open the hearing for public testimony. I remind members of the public that this is a government proceeding and that decorum shall be observed at all times. As such, members of the public shall remain silent at all times. The witness table is reserved for people who wish to testify. No video recording or photography is allowed from the witness table. Further, members of the public may not present audio or video recordings as testimony, but may submit transcripts of such recordings to the Sergeant-at-Arms for inclusion in the hearing record. If you wish to speak at today's hearing, please fill out an appearance card with the Sergeant-at-Arms and wait to be recognized. When recognized, you will have 2 minutes to speak on today's hearing topics. Oversight, TLC, commuter vans for hire vehicles and licensing in New York City's evolving transportation landscape. Intro number 115, a local law to amend the administrative code of the City of New York in relation to the creation of a mobile application that provides information about electric vehicle charging stations. Intro number 139, a local law to amend the New York City Charter in relation to adding 2 commissioners to the New York City Taxi and Limousine Commission Board. Intro number 1000, a local law to amend the administrative code of the City of New York in relation to permitting the use of commercial parking spaces for hire vehicles. Intro number 1346, a local law to amend the administrative code of the City of New York in relation to requiring the Department of Transportation to study the commuter van industry. Intro number 1347, a local law to amend the administrative code of the City of New York in relation to enforcing violations against unlicensed commuter vans. If you have written testimony or additional written testimony you wish to submit for the record, please provide a copy of that testimony to the Sergeant-at-Arms. You may also email written testimony to testimony@council.nyc.gov within 72 hours of this hearing. Audio and video recordings will not be accepted. Also, I ask that everyone silence their phones. We're going to call the first panel. Leroy Morrison, Jeremy Moskowitz, Dr. Paul Talley, Fernando Mateo, and Janice Hernandez. Again, you have 2 minutes. We ask that you please adhere to the time constraints. And you may begin when ready. Just be sure to turn on the mic. Just going to repeat the names again to make sure we have the correct people at the dais. Leroy Morrison, Jeremy Moskowitz, Dr. Paul Talley, Fernando Mateo, and Janice Hernandez.
Jermaine Tsai is Executive Director of the New York State Federation. Jermaine Tsai is Executive Director of the New York State Federation of Taxi Drivers.
I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing you. Can you talk up, please?
Jermaine Tsai is Executive Director of the New York State Federation of Taxi Drivers.
Got it. You can begin.
Our CMO and our chairman are going to be reading statements into the record.
So who's testifying? Is it Fernando? Okay, so the 2 of you, if you're not testifying and you weren't called, you don't need to be at the dais? Okay. Okay, so if you can leave the dais, please. Thank you.
Oh, here we go. Honorable Chairman, thank you for having us here. My name's Fernando Mateo. I am the founder and spokesman for the New York State Federation of Taxi Drivers. We're here to address two very crucial issues that are affecting not only our drivers, but approximately 200,000 drivers in New York City. We believe that parking for 30 minutes in the city, anywhere in the city, other than bus stops, no standing zones, and emergency areas, drivers should be allowed to park. Our drivers are suffering from severe health issues, from prostates to diabetes to high blood pressure, you name it, they have it. When you have to go to the bathroom, you've got to go. There's no way that you can drive a half a mile or a quarter of a mile trying to find a relief space where you can relieve yourself. So we are asking the City Council to understand that parking for 30 minutes anywhere in the city of New York is very important to our drivers. We don't need special permits. We don't need signs that indicate that we can park there. All we need is for the enforcement agencies to look at the license plate number of the vehicle and understand that if that vehicle is there, it's because they need to use, they're using a restroom. We'd also like for you to understand that we transport a lot of ADA passengers, and a lot of the times, a lot of the times buses will drive by and issue a summons. I'm sorry, I just don't want to speak while you're speaking.
I can still hear you.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So the MTA buses are issuing fines to drivers that are dropping off disabled people. Sometimes they're not able to drop them off 2 or 3 blocks away. So we'd like to address that issue. And most importantly, every time a driver gets out of his vehicle to use a restroom, he's issued a $115 fine, which basically wipes out his entire earnings for the day. So it would be very important to all of the drivers that the City Council instruct the TLC, the city agencies necessary so that drivers can park for 30 minutes anywhere in the city where trucks are able to park to load and unload.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good morning, Honorable Chairwoman.
Please turn your mic on.
Good morning, Honorable Chairwoman and council members. I have 2 testimonies. They're both in there, one of my own and then one of a fellow New Yorker.
Whatever you can't do today, you could just submit in the written testimony.
My name is Dr. Paul Talaj. I'm a general surgeon trained in Flushing, New York, Chief Medical Officer for the New York State Federation of Taxi Drivers. I care for professional drivers across New York City and see firsthand the preventable medical harm caused by the simple lack of reliable bathroom access and the fear of being ticketed for addressing basic human needs. This is not theoretical. New York City itself has acknowledged that public restrooms are scarce and often unusable. Earlier this year, the council voted to create a citywide strategy to add public bathrooms because today there's roughly 1 public toilet for every 7,800 residents, about 1,100 total. And many park bathrooms are closed or unsanitary, even during posted hours. That makes just find a bathroom unrealistic for a workforce tied to the curb for about 10 to 12 hours a day. When drivers can't find a restroom, they do only one thing they can. They hold it or they dehydrate on purpose. Medically, both are very dangerous, and urology guidance is very clear. From a both male and female perspective, regularly delaying urination can increase the risk of urinary tract infections. They can cause bladder dysfunction and have other arms of health. For women specifically, they can cause abnormal irregularities in menstrual periods, pelvic floor strain, and cause hemorrhoids. And incomplete emptying compounds that risk even greater. And I don't even want to get started on what would happen for drivers that are pregnant. Dehydration increases kidney stone formation, and we see elevated rates of hypertension and cardiometabolic disease in taxi and for higher drivers. Condition worsened by long sedentary shifts and inconsistent hydration. You've already set a precedent by requiring residents to allow bathroom access to delivery workers when they are picking up orders, and I applaud you for that. Drivers who move people deserve parity when facing
If you could wrap up, please.
an urgent need. For these reasons, I urge you to adopt 3 targeted health protective measures. 1, allow TLC licensed vehicles to park for up to 30 minutes citywide. 2, require establishments to provide emergency restroom access to TLC licensed drivers. And 3, create a clear codified safe harbor from tickets, especially
you.
for those elderly and disabled.
Thank you.
Why is it that you're cutting us short when you held the hearing here and you
Excuse
allowed
me.
this to go
Excuse
on and
me.
on and on?
Excuse
It's like you wasted our time.
Please remove
This is
him.
what our drivers look like.
Please remove him.
This
Thank
is
you.
what our drivers look like. You're very impolite and very rude. And I will not come to this.
Please remove him out of the chamber. Thank you.
And you're talking or we're talking. Very impolite, very rude.
We do have 2 more testimonies that are.
You can submit the rest in writing, please. Thank you.
This is the testimony to the New York
I'm
State-
sorry. You can submit
Oh,
that
submit it.
in writing. Thank you.
Good morning, council members. My name is Janice Hernandez. I'm here on behalf of my dad, Jose Hernandez. He's one of the drivers who is currently fighting kidney disease due to so many years working on the road. Sorry, it's my first time speaking to something like this. So dialysis is what keeps him alive right now. Due to all of this, is not only affecting him because it's life-threatening, but it's also effective to us as a family, where we can no longer spend family vacations together. Everything is limited around his disease now. I just hope that this is taken seriously so that this doesn't happen to other families, because it's very hard to see a family member slowly deteriorating. During his taxi services, he spent a lot of time on the road, so it was very hard for him to find bathrooms or restaurants who would open the door for him when he needed to use the bathroom. I just hope there's a change where this doesn't happen to other drivers in the future. So if you guys can help with that, that would be great. The testimony is written down. I changed a couple of words. 'Cause I'm a little nervous. This is my dad. So if this works, help you to see, like, I'm constantly seeing this every day and it's very hurtful. So I just hope this helps. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your testimony, and you can submit the full testimony in writing.
Hi, my name is Jeremy Moskowitz from Voyager Global Mobility. We, with our 2 brands, Buggy and Fast Track, are the largest weekly rental for TLC drivers. As a weekly rental company, we only succeed and thrive when drivers are earning and survive. They can return the car anytime they want, anytime the industry isn't working for them. First, I just wanted to applaud the council for pushing through the PIP bill. And I wanted to ask that you not take your foot off the pedal. I think we know that there's a looming insurance crisis. American Transit is completely insolvent and is going to be screwing over thousands and thousands of drivers. At the same time, the TLC has seemingly abdicated its responsibility to solve this. They point the finger at the state points its finger back. So in that circus, I would ask the committee to keep the pressure on and continue to find common sense solutions to the insurance crisis. I wanted to talk today also about 139 or 135, the composition of the council. I actually think that it would be a great opportunity to push that all seat holders, all commissioners hold a TLC license, not necessarily that they be historical drivers, but every commissioner should have to go through the TLC process. I myself, I am not a full-time driver. I have a TLC license. I know what it takes. I took the course. I took the test. I know the rules. And the people who are actually regulating hundreds of thousands of drivers should also, I think, be able to pass the test and should know the rules that they're regulating. So I would push that all commissioners, after they're nominated, have, let's say, 3 months, which is what it takes to get your TLC license. But that's the direction I would like to go. I think that there is an overall lack of industry knowledge and expertise on the commission itself. Commissioner Doe brings great knowledge, but as a whole, he said himself, there's only one commissioner who has experience. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you to the panel. We'll call up the next panel, Leroy Morrison, Andrew Greenblatt, Michele Dottin, Arjun Lal, Dinara Zhanpeissova. Please adhere to the 2-minute time limit. You may begin when you take the mic off of mute.
First, I want to say good morning to Madam Chair, her staff. Thank you so much for having this hearing on behalf of New York City Commuter Vans. My name is Leroy Morris, and I'm the president for New York City Commuter Van Association. And Madam Chair, there's a lot of work that need to be done, and we really appreciate what you did for commuter vans. We've been going through a lot, but with these bills that you're doing now, it should help the commuter van industry because we've been around for over 40 years, going through a lot of problems. Whenever New York City is in crisis, they call them commuter vans. But what we want to do is feel that we should be treated like a first-class citizen in New York City and in America. Commuter van, we have insurance problems. I went out and we raised over $55 million for the next 5 years so they can bring back the commuter vans in New York City. But with these legislation that you're doing now, it will help the commuter van industry and it'll help us move forward. And we thank you for the great work. We only have a couple minutes, but we've been fighting the insurance crisis for over decades. A lot of these for our industry also, if they were to come alongside us, because we have great bills in Albany, but there was no support. We have bills passed, but when it's supposed to be the governor sign it, there's no one there to help the governor and say, hey, listen, look, we have American Transit. That's the only insurance company in New York City. And also the assigned risk is not the way to go about it. Commuter van in Queens are paying $40,000 a year. In Brooklyn is $45,000 a year. So what we did, we come up with captive insurance. We come up with risk retention group for our industry, black cars, limos for our, but there's no one there to help us. They seem to pull back. So what we're saying here, let's come together as one for hire industry. And also City DOT need to give us more stops. They take down the commuter stops. They don't put them back up. So it leave the ridership in the street. You know, I'm sorry. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Okay. The chair, council members, my name is Dinara Zhanpeissova and I represent Independent Drivers Guild. I'm a woman, an immigrant, and Uber and Lyft driver in New York City. I've been driving for the past 8 years and I'm here to support Intro 1000 bill. Drivers like me spend 10 to 12 hours behind the wheel. And yes, there's a few legal places to stop, but nowhere near enough for the size of our workforce. Most of the time, restaurants refuse us, saying that we have to order something. Coffee shops, they lock their bathrooms, buy a drink for the code. Daily groceries, they just kick us out. Parks, they're too crowded, and they close very early. So what happens? Accidents. I've been there. To avoid it, I dehydrate myself. I don't drink water, coffee on purpose just to get through my shift. That's not healthy, not fair, and not what is world-class city should be putting its workers through. The other day near LaGuardia Airport, I saw the sign, TLC drivers, no urinating, no dumping. Cute, right? But when you give thousands of drivers only few legal options, what do you expect? Sometimes I see bottles of urine left on the street. Businesses wash down their sidewalks because of the smell. And let's be honest, tourists already say New York smells like a pee. Intro 1000 is not a rocket science. It gives drivers a legal, metered spots to stop for 30 minutes, grab a food, stretch, and yes, use a bathroom like a normal people. The city makes some money, sidewalk stays cleaner, drivers get dignity. Everyone wins. Council members, I know you care about the city. Please do the right thing, pass Intro 1000. Give us health, dignity, and give to the city clean streets. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Chair Brooks Powers and members of the committee. My name is Andrew Greenblatt, and I'm the Policy Director of the Independent Drivers Guild, or IDG. Thank you for this opportunity to testify in support of Intro 1000. As a nonprofit affiliate of the Machinists Union, the IDG represents more than 140,000 Uber and Lyft drivers throughout the state and hundreds of thousands of more across the country. Our drivers need to find a safe and legal place to take a break. This isn't just a matter of convenience, it's a matter of health, safety, and basic dignity. The 80,000 FHV drivers in the city have only 31 relief stands. That's one relief stand for every 2,500 drivers. I want to correct something the TLC said. They gave a higher number, and the number that they gave includes all of the relief stands that are only available to yellow cab drivers and not available to other FHV drivers. So it's one for every 2,500 drivers. It doesn't work. Now, the DOT testified today that they're working on it. The first time we met with them on this issue was 2019. They told us they would work on it. It is 6 years later, and they've added exactly 0 relief stands in 6 years. At this rate, over the next 100 years, they'll add 0 relief stands. This is not a solution to this problem. Intro 1000 is a common sense solution. It would permit FHV drivers to use underused space. You see this empty space all the time when you're driving through the city. The drivers would be charged for this, so the DOT also talked about how this would cost money for them to fix the meters, the meter apps. Actually, what it is revenue positive. We're talking about putting revenue into the treasury and giving drivers the dignity they need. Intro 1000 is a win-win for everybody. It would improve the driver's health, reduce traffic congestion on bridges and tunnels, and shorten wait times for passengers. We urge you to pass this legislation.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Michele Dottin. I'm here to support Intro 1000, requesting that it be passed, allowing basic human decency to enable FHV drivers to stop for 30 minutes, 4 times a day, to get some food, use the restroom, and stretch their legs, to avoid possible illnesses caused by delayed release of bodily functions. Drivers are not asking for too much, just the ability to be treated with some compassion and empathy in their daily stresses. Yes, stress happens when they had to worry about a ticket. They had to take a chance to stop somewhere illegal with no other choice. Intro 1000 will alleviate that additional stress, allowing them peace of mind and human compassion for their daily needs without being ticketed. FHV drivers are being treated like an ATM. They are faced with the possibility of having to purchase an electric vehicle by 2030 without a lack of charging stations and hours off the roads, causing them valuable fears. Reconsideration of the 2030 start end time should be made. Then, like another monkey on their back, here comes the possibility of AVs taking away their jobs, leaving them with new debts from the purchase of an electric vehicle and no way to feed their families. We want to focus to be on the workers, not the billionaires lavishly spending the money that workers help them earn. Like the man who himself buried himself in a precious car. How selfish. Let's think about the ripple effect on the economy, the thousands of jobs lost, the domino effect on small businesses who rely on the support of these businesses, and also the safety of the riders, trafficking, sex trafficking as well. I'd like to also say I agree with Intro 139. However, there must be a licensed
Thank you.
drivers.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Arjun Lal, and I'm a for-hire vehicle driver. I'm from Greece, and I've been representing drivers who operate with app-based trips. I'm here today to voice a strong support for Intro 1000. Thank you to the Council for the opportunity to speak on behalf of the thousands of drivers who keep the city moving. I've been driving across all the 5 boroughs for years, early mornings, late nights, weekends, holidays. I've spent time away from my family, time away from my friends, to drive and to move New York. I take pride in my work, but every day one serious issue continues to affect us: the lack of access to restrooms and legal places to stop. Let me give you an example. One night around 10 p.m., just before Christmas, I was working in Midtown Manhattan, New York City, and suddenly got hit with a terrible stomachache. It was the night before Christmas, so there was no public restrooms, nowhere I could stop to park legally. I had no choice but to drive all the way to Queens to find a bathroom. I lost time, I missed rides. There are people traveling, that could have been revenue. It was all for a basic human need. This just isn't my story. It happens to drivers every single day. Some are even ticketed $100 for pulling over briefly. That's a full day's pay gone. Intro 1000 matters. It would provide drivers with safe, legal places to stop. It would protect their health, reduce illegal parking, improve traffic flow, and bring in revenue through meters instead of fines. We are not asking for special treatment. We're asking for basic dignity. We're all humans. We're essential workers. We keep the city moving during everything that the city has gone through. We deserve to do our job safely and humanely. Intro 1000 is a safe, smart, and simple solution. Please vote to pass this bill. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to this panel. The next panel we'll hear from will include Bhairavi Desai, Richard Chow, Mohamed Mohamed, Adalgisa Payero-Diarra, and Hector German. You can begin as soon as you're ready by turning on the mic, and we ask everyone to respect the 2-minute limit. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the Council. Thank you for having this hearing today. Also, Madam Chair, I'd like to thank you for the invitation to serve on the Commuter Van Roundtable. Really appreciate the 2 bills that are on the table today and do support them. With regards to Intro 1000, it was really stunning to hear the administration say that their answer is, quote, "We're going to work to increase stands." The drivers have been hearing that ad nauseum for like decades in this city. Even when there were less than 10,000 yellow cabs operating, there were not enough stands for the drivers to take a break. Now imagine when the number of operating vehicles on any given day is over 80,000, by no means are we close enough to the number of stands that drivers actually need. They're serving 158 million passengers in just the first 6 months of this year alone. They are critical to the economic fabric of this city. They bring in revenue every single day, and they do it at the expense not only of their financial security, because they begin every day at a negative paying the expenses, but they continue to do it at the expense of their health and safety. Having enough stands is the least that the city can provide to the men and women who work in this industry. But the bill needs to be amended. It should say that these spots would be available to TLC drivers. We don't want to see this bill become a Trojan horse where in the future, AV companies, it may be Waymo today, Uber itself has said they expect their prototype in another 4 to 5 years to come in and use these spaces as a means to basically, do mechanic on their vehicle. These spaces should be for all TLC drivers that are operating TLC licensed vehicles.
Thank you. And I do have a quick question for you regarding Intro 139. Just wanted to get your perspective on that.
Sure. So, I mean, I think the concern would be that you're adding 2 commissioners, so it would be 11. The mayor's office would then have the majority. They would have 6 and the council would have 5. Now, I remember the days when Rudolph Giuliani was mayor and we could barely get near TLC without the threat of being arrested. It's an important balance between the council and the mayoral administration, no matter who that mayor is going to be. So I think that, increasing the number is I think it's going to throw off what the actual goal of the legislation is.
And just to be clear, the intent was to try to give drivers more of a voice in terms of the direction of regulations and things that impact their day-to-day life. So is there amendments to this bill that you think would be appropriate to keep the balance that you speak of, but also keep the spirit of or the intent of the bill?
Yes, I think if you just keep the number the same, but you have the requirement that at least some of those members must be licensed drivers, active drivers, I think then you do address the spirit and at the same time maintain the important checks and balances between the council and the administration.
Thank you.
My name is Mohamed Mohamed. I used to drive yellow cab and green cab since 2003, and now I'm driving Uber and Lyft since 2010. I support Intro 1000. Just I have 3 objection or regarding this bill. The only objection I have first is to the waiting time. It should be 90 minutes, not 30 minutes. 30 minutes is proposed to serve Wyoming in future coming up, not the drivers. And secondly, to ensure the drivers has reserved that spot, and that would not be will be achieved by to keep that spot to the driver, to boot any other cars or any other vehicle or towing away if it's not commercial vehicle or TLC cars. Thirdly, all TLC drivers should be get the benefit for that bill. Yellow cab, green cab, all TLC drivers. We have to talk here about the drivers, not the vehicle. So the driver, if he need a break, he need more than 30 minutes. We have to keep in our mind, Manhattan is too crowded. If I park my car 30 minutes, it's not enough to go have a break or line for a bathroom, or if I go into a hearing, even here. If I have 188 middle lane, I can't park there in my spot. All the parking have taken by the New York City, the New York City vehicle or police car or other vehicle. So it's very hard for the driver to find his own spot. The city never give ticket for the police car who park in our spot. This should be fixed. Thank you.
Thank you for that. And we see that in Queens also with folks in the commuter van designated spots as well. And it's definitely, problematic in terms of that.
Hello, good morning, Madam Chair and City Council member. My name is Richard Chow. I'm New York Taxi Walk Line member. I'm a yellow cab driver. Most of the yellow cab drivers walking in the city, most of the time, the traffics are very bad and very hard to find the parking spot, to the break time, to go to the restroom or lunch or dinner. Yellow cab driver, HFV driver need more relief stand and then permit to use the commercial parking spot. So up to 30 minutes for four times a day. So we got to avoid the ticket. Every time I went to the bedroom, come back, I get a ticket, $115. So this is unfair. So a lot of driver has a problem with they cannot go into on time to the bathroom, get a kidney stone problem. They have the kidney stone problem. Myself And a few months ago, I have a kidney stone problem. I've only diabetes, the high blood pressure, so many the health issue. So driver need more the parking spot to go on time, go to the restroom, avoid visit to the doctor office. So those drivers going to more healthier. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you. It's good to see you.
You're welcome.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Adalgisa Payero-Diarra. I'm the president of UTANI, the Union Taxi of Drivers in New York City. I'm here today in support of Intro 1000, the bill that will be allowing drivers to park at commercial parking spot. As a female driver, we face constant difficulties when it comes to using the restrooms while working. We face the hardship of getting tickets just to get to use the restroom or grab something to eat. It is important that council members today approve this bill, giving the 200,000 TLC drivers a relief to be able to eat or use the restroom or just take a break to stretch their legs without encountering a parking violation that will affect the income of that day and also create a hardship for our family. Also, I want to thank everyone that is here supporting this bill and also plead with our council members regarding Waymo's autonomous vehicles being tested in our city and how this can destroy the thousands of lives of all these men and women that are here and their family. Please say no to Waymo and keep our city safe. Thank you.
Thank you.
Buenos días, mi nombre es Hector Leonardo Germán de UTANI, Unión de Taxistas de Nueva York. Estoy aquí en representación de la organización y de la comunidad taxista de Nueva York en sentido general. He estado aquí en varias ocasiones como observador de las audiencias y he participado en otras audiencias, pero yo considero que esta es una de las más importantes porque ese bill, el 1000, es a favor de nuestra vida, de nuestra salud. Tengo 24 años como taxista y en este tiempo he tenido que visitar varios hospitales, clínicas y causas para ver, y casa de compañeros, para verlo morir porque sus riñones, los kidneys, no le funcionan. Es importante, hoy he visto cuántas personas se ha ido al baño a hacer necesidad, porque eso es fisiología. Entonces nosotros le pedimos a ustedes, señores concejales, que ese bill lo firmen para el bienestar de todos los taxistas de Nueva York. Tenemos muchas áreas que a veces llevamos un pasajero y estamos pensando dónde vamos a hacer esa necesidad. Y cuando llegamos a la parte baja de Nueva York, nos encontramos que esas áreas son prohibidas solamente para vehículos de placa comercial. Nosotros pagamos una placa comercial y tenemos un seguro comercial. En otro lado, con los carros autónomos, nosotros le pedimos que escuchen a 200,000 familias que podían quedar sin trabajo. Nosotros somos los taxistas, los verdaderos amigos de esta ciudad. Nosotros somos los que en todas temporadas siempre estamos ahí, 365 días del año y a cualquier hora y en cualquier lugar y en cualquier temporada, ya sea de nieve, frío, calor, ahí estamos nosotros. Por favor, please, sign the bill 1000.
Thank you. Thank you to the panel. The next panel we'll hear from will include Zach Miller, Jose Altamirano, Jose Lebron, Peter Mazir, Eman Rimawi-Doster. You can begin once you come off of mute. We ask that everyone adhere to the 2-minute rule.
Good morning, Chair Brooks Powers. Thank you for holding this hearing. My name is Zach Miller. I am the Vice President of Government Affairs for the Trucking Association of New York. I do have full written testimony submitted, but there are just a couple of points that I do want to make. And I do want to start off by saying this is Truck Driver Appreciation Week, and the challenges that our professional truck drivers face are very similar to the challenges that our FHV drivers face in terms of how long they're on the road, what they need in terms of places to rest, in terms of human dignity. We agree with that. Our challenge with Intro 1000 as it's written is we see it creating more conflict between our professional drivers rather than coexistence. We do believe there's a pathway to work together on curb solutions that do provide that dignity for everybody, but Intro 1000 as written isn't it. And there are a couple of points I do want to make in terms of what is happening in the commercial loading zones right now, because we did poll our members about this. They're saying that they see loading zones blocked by non-commercial vehicles about 35% of the time. There's trash, construction equipment, and debris that also obstructs access. Specialized fleets face longer distances between zones and destinations, adding to inefficiency. And our drivers regularly receive summons for bus lane, bike lane, and double parking violations that stem from a lack of accessible legal space. And this does increase the drivers getting idling tickets, as well as criminal summonses for blocking traffic. And it takes, on average, about 15 to 30 minutes for a truck driver to find a place to park, which again adds to congestion and inefficiency. Another thing we'd like to see added to any bill moving forward is a reporting requirement related to how many loading zones there are, how many are added year over year, where they are, their usage patterns. As always, we're happy to continue to work with the council and DOT on solutions.
Thank you for that. And I appreciate the fact that you put a caveat, like if it was to move forward, what could help to make it a more responsible bill. So thank you for that.
Good morning, Chair. Pleasure to be with you. My name is Jose Altamirano. I'm the president of the Livery Base Owners Association. We represent about 250 livery bases serving communities across New York City, especially in areas underserved by traditional transit. I want to address several of the bills today. Starting with Intro 1000, we are in favor. Our drivers often can't find places to legally park to use restrooms during long shifts. This is not optional. Impacts their safety, their health, and dignity. Our bases have bathrooms. Our community car service have bathrooms. An additional solution could be giving TLC parking in front or near the bases so that drivers can be able to use the facilities there as well. In regards to Intro 1346, we support the study in principle. Liveries fill many of the same gaps commuter vans are intended to address, serving neighborhoods where public transit is scarce or inconvenient. But a similar effort, the Black Car and Livery Task Force, was done already, and its findings have largely gone unimplemented. TLC studies need to result in real policy changes, particularly regarding licensing cap and operational flexibility to allow the sector to scale. The current system caps FHV licenses and places high cost burdens, making it very difficult for newcomers, especially immigrant drivers, to enter or transition. We urge the council to expand livery vehicle licenses, offer financial support or subsidies for EVs, and simplify licensing process so more drivers can be onboarded. Regard to Intro 0139, adding 2 additional commissioners, we respectfully oppose. Increasing the number of commissioners sounds good in theory, but in practice, it adds a lot of bureaucracy. It risks slowing decision-making. We also would like to say that we like the spirit of the bill, and we would, if within the current 9, 2 of them could be licenses, we would definitely be in support of that. In regard to Intro 0115, we are in favor. And just want to make sure that the vehicles, and there's a plan, because a lot of these vehicles are very expensive for our drivers because of the additional.
Thank you. Can you turn the mic on, please?
Oh, sorry. Hello, good morning. My name is Jose Lebron. I'm the president of NYIBU, that is New York Independent Drivers Unions. My visit today, I'm so younger on the driver industry, only 2 years. Only 2 years, and my kidneys are working so bad. Just that because we had to work a lot of hours to do the money and then we don't have any way where we can stop and go to the bathroom. That is for me that I'm a younger man. And I think about that's all people that are old men that are working every day, working so hard to get the money to their house. This is a problem because the city doesn't know who we are. We are the driver. We are the people that move the economy of the country. And then we don't know why we have that arrangement about the authority. When someone that have a TLC haven't stopped anywhere, they are haunting us. They are fighting against us. I don't know why. We are here because this bill is too much important for the life of the driver. And the driver is some I don't know how to say this. If one time all the driver be organized and stop in the city will get in chaos. But anybody want to see that, and they are haunting to us. The problem is not only about this bill, and this bill is too much important. That's why I'm here. The problem is the people that have to be taking care of us and are in arrangement with us. When we talk about the MTA and we watch in DOT and we talk about the TLC, I was hearing today, Vidu, talking some beautiful words about us, but that is not the truth. That is not the truth, because when we work, and I want only to say this, when we work and one customer pay $100, we only get $35.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Good morning. My name is Peter Mazur, and I'm General Counsel to the Metropolitan Taxi Cab Board of Trade, a 73-year-old association representing owners and operators of licensed medallion taxi cabs. We operate a full-service driver center that has provided services to more than 15,000 drivers in traffic court, oath, and criminal courts, and provided a variety of other services to them, all at no charge. 10 years ago, our taxi cabs were moving about 500,000 passengers a day. Then Uber and Lyft came along, and then we had the pandemic, and we were down to very close to zero. Over time, we have seen ridership slowly return, but it is not at the levels that we had previously experienced. Yet, to many New Yorkers, cabs remain an essential service. We provide more than half of our cabs are accessible to persons with disabilities. We receive no subsidy, and we provided over $2 billion to the MTA in surcharges and fees. There are still many challenges facing this industry today as we embark on a slow, gradual return. They include the high cost of insurance, the high cost of vehicles, coupled by the lack of available financing. Lenders have little confidence, in large part because unlicensed operators and others are breaking the law, depressing drivers' and owners' incomes with enforcement virtually non-existent. Today, you're considering a bill to promote strict enforcement against violators in the commuter van industry. We'd like to see that expanded to include enforcement against violators affecting the taxi and for-hire industries as well. Illegal activity at the airports and other transportation hubs are a major concern. Finally, I would like to address one of the bills to add to driver representation to an expanded TLC Board of Commissioners. The Administrative Code already provides for an advisory board with owner and driver representation. This advisory board has not met for years and should be reconstituted. I would also point out that TLC commissioners serve an adjudications role, hearing appeals of license revocation cases, and having licensee representation on the board with these functions may present a conflict of interest. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, sorry.
Hi, good afternoon. It is good afternoon. Okay. To the Committee on Transportation and Infrastructure, thank you so much for allowing me to share my testimony. My name is Eman Rimawi-Doster, and I am a senior community organizer for the Disability Justice Program at New York Lawyers for the Public Interest. I'm also an access-ride customer and a lifelong New Yorker. And for the record also, I am disabled. I am not the ADA community. Not sure what exactly that means. Yes, the MTA started a pilot program with electric vans for the access-ride paratransit dedicated service to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. But only 15 electric vehicles have been put into service as a key part of the MTA's goals to decrease emissions by 85% by 2040. And while the MTA and the TLC are two different entities. They are partners. The MTA's Access-Ride On-Demand pilot program, which is in phase 3, needs TLC vehicles to be healthier, not only for disabled customers who use them, but also for the drivers who drive them and for our environment. So there is a solution. We hope that the work with the City Council to pass the legislation requiring the TLC to issue a request for proposals, an RFP, for a full accessible zero-emission vehicle model that can be integrated into the city's huge for-hire vehicle and taxi fleet. Accessible EVs would be paratransit riders, taxi riders, and users of major rideshare apps alike. Second, the bill that that New York Lawyers of the Public Interest is working on, S5552 or A6635, to establish the Green Accessible Transition Authority, or GATA, would provide financial support for hire vehicle drivers and paratransit service to purchase these accessible electric vehicles. The legislation was introduced in May 2025 and aims to incentivize drivers to operate. And I'll submit the rest of it.
Thank you. Thank you to this panel. I just want to remind people if we could keep all comments contained to the hearing topic of today and the pieces of legislation. Thank you to the panel again. The next panel will include Raul Rivera, Christopher Leon Johnson, Anwaar Malik, Guan Lin, and Kang Chahui.
Wow, you up, bro? You up? No, you up.
You can start once you come off of mute. I ask that everyone keep their comments restrained to the 2 minutes and also stay on topic. I'm going to just call the names again, make sure that everyone is still here. Raul Rivera, Christopher Leon Johnson, Anwaar Malik, okay, Guan Lin, Kang Chahui, Khalid Khattak, Larbi Aitaabou. Raul, you can begin once you come off mute. Please adhere to the 2-minute rule.
Good afternoon. My name is Raul Rivera. I'm a TLC driver advocate. Currently not driving, but I do have 23,000 trips with Uber and Lyft. My license, according to everybody else, is suspended or deactivated, which is a lie. I'm in the process of renewing. It's about $500 to renew the license. I want to touch on Intro 139. Intro 139 comes from a petition that we drafted in 2018 to reform the Taxi Limousine Commission, a petition that you have. We spoke to your policy director, Jack Siegenthaler. He knows about that bill and others that we have. We shared that petition with you. We wanted you to sign that petition. It doesn't have all the answers, but it's a start, it's a tool. And the most important thing is to reform the TLC, an agency that's 50 years old, that has 12 suicides under their belt. We shared the list. We have a list of the drivers, and that's what we need. We don't need bathrooms. There's bathrooms everywhere. Somebody could get a bottle and use that. It works fine for me. We want the reform of the TLC. I spoke to the commissioner, I had meetings with him. Mayor Adams signed our petition to reform the TLC, many others, Richie Torres, Jumani Williams, everybody. I don't know why it's so hard to call for the reform of an agency that's 50 years old. It's 50 years old. We're driving a vehicle. We're not driving a rocket ship. You know, it's ridiculous that you can't stand up, or anyone to stand up and call for the reform of the TLC. Mateo was here. Mateo was not even a taxi driver. You know, he's an entrepreneur. It says it right on his website. He's never done a trip in his life. And he can't give us a press conference. We're trying to give him a chance. Everybody gets a chance with me. Everybody. Until you lose that chance. I think we gave you a good chance. You know, I think an illegal alien coming from across the border has an easier chance to have a meeting.
Thank you.
Finally, I say,
Thank you,
if you
Raul.
support Zoran Mandani, you support
Thank
an
you, Raul.
anti-Semite.
That's it. Thank you. Next.
Yeah, you're good at that.
Hello. My name is Christopher Leon Johnson. Thank you, Chair Brooks Powers. First off, I want to make a statement both to the IDG / Justice for At Workers and the TWA / the Worker Justice Project, Los Doministos. You two nonprofits, you two organizations have direct access to the chair of the city council, not like Raul Rivera. You guys have both had direct access to the chair of the city council. The issue I see here with both of these organizations, I'm getting sick of it. I think you're getting sick of it too, is that these two organizations are divided of what's happening here because all it's about is I'm president of this, I'm president of that, titles, salaries, all stuff like that. You two organizations are both getting unfairly deactivated, all four of you guys, WJP, TWA, even Raul Rivera, all you organizations, IDG, Just for Ad Workers, all you guys getting deactivated, unfairly deactivated by Uber. Just like this past Friday, they had a rally saying that we had to stop unfair deactivation. I support that. I support Intro 1332 by Justice Brad. No, not the hearing for that, but I'm here showing my support for that bill. I was able to testify with Julie Mena's hearing. So to put that on record, I support Intro 1132 to stop unfair deactivations of the deliveristas. But I support every bill to stop unfair deactivations of everybody in this room. But you organizations right here, both IDG and TWA and the Worker Justice Project and Justice Advocates need to come together and come together with the chair and say that fuck Uber, fuck Lyft, fuck DoorDash, fuck Grubhub, and fuck all these. I'm sorry about that. Sorry, language. Forget all these organizations. Y'all need to stick together. Stop being divided. Stop worrying about salaries and come together at the table and say, we got to fight back against the yaps. So I'm here to show my support to all you guys here, but stop the division, stop the bullshit, all right? Stop it, okay? Thank you so much and enjoy your day. Thank you. Thank you, Brooks Powers. Enjoy your day. I support Intro 1132. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Okay. My name is Anwaar Malik. I'm going to start off by saying every driver needs a break and parking to take better care of their health. We're not asking for a lot, just to be allowed to work more safely by taking breaks without stress. Drivers worry about drinking water because they would have to use the restroom, and that ultimately takes a toll on their health. Kidney failure, other organ failures, diabetes, and so much more. I've seen countless, like probably at least 24 drivers with diabetes in this industry get it because of this industry. You guys have the power to pass this bill, and don't let another driver go through health issues under your watch. Quote from Dr. Sarah Batistich, director of IDG's Worker Healthy Living Program. She says, one of the trademarks of a modern society is regular access to clean water and sanitary bathrooms. Denying access to these basic services can create a public health issue. Without easy access to clean restrooms, people run the risk of contracting bladder and urinary tract infection, as well as bowel problems. For-hire vehicle drivers keep our city running. Ensuring that drivers have access to facilities to eat, rest, and use the bathrooms is about treating them as the essential workers they are, and will be a powerful step towards treating them with the dignity and respect they deserve. For Intro 1000, the second stress is about Waymo, self-driving cars. How much time do I have left? You guys gotta watch out for us, for all the taxi drivers.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I think it's afternoon already, so good afternoon to everybody. My name is Khalid Khattak and I am an Uber Lyft driver. There are so many other concerns, of course, that we face on a daily basis, but one of the main concerns is the bathrooms and the parking areas for the Uber and Lyft drivers and all the other, of course, the yellow cab, green cab, and all the other drivers. Besides that, one of the guys just gave testimony saying that he had to go to Queens. I don't know if he went there once or twice, but in my case, I always either try to go to Queens or Brooklyn to be out of the city, so at least I can use a restroom in peace without worrying for getting a ticket for $150 some. Or parking, even if I have to go and get me something, there is no room or there is no specific areas for us to park. Besides that, besides going to the bathroom or getting something to drink or eat, we have so many, of course, that's what makes America great, because they're like all different races, different nationalities, different religions under just one roof all the time. We have guys that would like to take a prayer break. Earlier, a brother mentioned, one of the drivers mentioned that 30 minutes is not enough. He was asking for 90 minutes. I won't go to that extent to have a 90-minute break, because, taking a 90-minute break, well, that means I'll be losing money if I'm on a 90-minute break. So at least, if not 30 minutes, we also would like to extend this if we have some religious obligations, instead of like standing on a sidewalk and doing our religious obligations. If we have the time, 40 minutes, maybe 45 minutes, we go and at least utilize that time towards our prayer as well. And I'm in full support of the intro with 1,000. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good afternoon. I just want to apologize for the chamber. It's 210 years old, and people with profanity coming in and saying this is such a disgrace to people coming here and disrespecting a 210 years old building. If the building can speak, it would throw you out. But the subject of today is an issue that it's been for far too long, something that is devastating to drivers, including myself. When I started driving in 2007, I faced, ticket left and right. I was not familiar with the ticket system in New York City until I got the ticket on my mail. And it was quite devastating. You work the whole day, you're about to make $200, $300 to go home, and then you hit with $115 tickets, if not even more, ticket in the mail that you don't know about. One of the issues that everybody is addressing today is the bathroom, but this is not about the bathroom only, right? This is about human dignity, right? If I need to use the bathroom right now, I can just close this mic and go to the bathroom. But if I'm driving my vehicle and I cannot park my car, the stress that's going to cause me, because the fear that I will have to have to pay the city $115 on a daily basis just for me to use the bathroom, that's unacceptable. And I said this again, we need to pass this bill. And Chairwoman, you've been in this chamber for a long time, and you understand the struggle that drivers are going through on a daily basis. So there is not a fact that I need to put on the table for you, because you understand the struggle already. But what is important is that this bill, Intro 1000, passed yesterday before today, and I thank you for your time.
Thank you for that. Please refrain from clapping or you'll be removed from the chamber. Thank you to the panel. We'll now hear from the next panel, which will be Sharif, maybe? Toybayev? Okay. Liaquat Ali. Okay. Henry Zhu. Rangui Ji. Fanj Meng. Okay, gonna try this again. Shraza Toybayev. Henry Zhu. Rangui Ji. Fanj Meng. Ziolang Peng. Sonam Lama. There we go. David Obisant. Pedro Acosta. Ziolan Peng. Xiaolang Peng. Madjed Kamel Zegrar. Thank you. You may begin when you come off of mute. I just ask that you adhere to the 2-minute rule. You may begin. Please turn the mic on.
Okay.
There we go.
Good afternoon, the Honorable Chair, Council members. My name is Liaquat Ali. I'm a proud member of the Independent Drivers Guild and have been a full-time for-hire vehicle driver in New York City for over 2 decades. I come before you today not just a driver, but as a father, a provider, and a human being asking for dignity. There are over 100,000 active FHB drivers in New York City. Most of us work 10 to 12-hour shifts, often without a legal place to stop and use the restroom. For drivers with medical conditions, especially diabetes or prostate issues, which are common among men over 50, timely access to restroom is not optional. It's a matter of health and survival. Holding urine for extended periods can lead to urinary tract infections, kidney damages, and also chronic conditions. Ignoring these needs put our long-term well-being at serious risk. We are not asking for a special treatment. We're asking for the right to briefly park on metered commercial parking zones so we can access restrooms without fear of tickets or harassment. But parking alone is not enough. We also urge the city to mandate that restaurants allow FHB drivers access to their restrooms. Currently, most restaurants restrict restrooms to paying customers, and many of us are turned away even when we offer to pay. I am 58 years old, and I need to stay healthy so I can continue driving for at least another 5-6 years to support my 5 members family. I pay taxes, I follow the rules, but the city must recognize our humanity. This bill is not just about parking, it's about public health, worker dignity, and basic human rights. Please stand with us. Pass this bill on humanitarian grounds. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is David Obisant. Thank you for everyone who speak before me. I think this bill already passed. I don't have to repeat everything people already said. Only 3 words I'm gonna put on the table right now is S, T, and P. The S is safety. I think New York City is gonna be the most safety city in the world. But for us drivers, every day we try for safety. Now, I think the most important thing for us is those drivers who speak before me. I think they mentioned about the safety issue now. The second word is T, the time. For most of 10 or 15 years, I think the DOT and the commissioner who's working on those data, they don't give a special detail about those data. That's time limit now. And the third one is about when you said safety and time. Now, I don't know what gonna be the next gonna be doing now because they try to put our job on jeopardy now to put some Uber driver on the city. I don't know how those safety is gonna be an issue for us. And looking forward, anyone who's driving need some time. And the time is for ourselves and for our family. We bring so much money on the table for the city. I think we didn't deserve those little bills like this one. Like I said before, this bill already passed. I don't have to repeat all those things. Thank you for the safety. Thank you for your time, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello. Good morning, everyone. My name is Sonam Lama. I'm a proud member of Independent Driver Guild, a driver advocate, and FSP driver. I'd like to thank you, Chair Committee Honorable Councilmember Selena Brooks, your staffs, and your colleagues for giving this opportunity to testify. I also don't want to miss some of the council members who has been a fighter behind us. Pedro and I we have been reaching out to all the city council members, and we did email you as well. However, we didn't get it, but most of the city council members did respond to us, and we went there. And I think now we have 9 co-sponsors for this bill. They were all amazing. They welcomed in their office, and they gave us a very good hospitable because they know that we are fighting for basic needs. I'm a driver advocate. I always walk with my members. Yesterday, I slept around 2 a.m. and wake up around 5 a.m. I had a very bad a food that I ate during midnight. And guess what? Today, I'm happy because I'm inside this room because I get to get a good bathroom, and I use 3 times. This is the real example because I lead myself as an example, and I give you a fair example what happened. And it's not about something that we are asking or looking to chase. It's just the basic things that we're asking for in front of Chairwoman. I know you are a champion for people like us. We were here when we celebrated the Desai Festival and our lunar commercial parking stuff. We saw you. I was very happy. And just wanted to let you know that as a TLC vehicle, we pay commercial license fee, we pay commercial registration, and we do pay commercial, the insurance as well. So, but we excluded to park in commercial parking space. All we asking for 30 minutes, not more than that. And definitely it's going to help a lot of drivers. Drivers cannot afford to get a diabetes or kidney issues. And please do support Inter 1000. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about this so important bill. My name is Pedro Acosta, and I have been driving for more than 25 years already. I am here to support strongly the Intro 1000. It's something that we need for our health. I want to remind you that we are essential workers, and we have contributed to the city more than $1 billion since 2018 when they implement the congestion tax. So we have been appointing to the city a lot. Remember, we are servicing every day more than 27,000, almost 28,000 dispatch trips by the MTA and SSRI. Most of those trips are for people with elderly people or people with disabilities who come from different boroughs to the city. So we need to be in the city, so when they call back to get back to the town, to the boroughs, we have to be in the city. So if we don't have access to the bathroom, we have to be going out from the city to Brooklyn or to Queens to use the bathroom. So we need to have access to those commercial spaces here in the city, so we don't have to be out when somebody needs our service. I want to remind you, like my brother Sonam told you, we pay commercial insurance. We pay the average of $8,000 insurance every year, while a regular insurance is about probably $1,500 $2,000 a year. We pay also a commercial registration, which is about $476 every year, when a regular registration is maybe $120 every 2 years. So that we also pay a commercial license to TLC. Without it, we cannot do this work. So we need this to pass, and we encourage you to help us to this. Thank you very much. Bye-bye now.
Thank you. Next.
Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Madjed Kamel Zegrar. I'm a TLC driver and FHV driver since 2017. I advocate for driver too, and thank you for the opportunity to give us to speak today. This bill is actually essential to the driver, like driver is essential to the city. I totally 100% agree with all my fellow drivers. This bill will protect us, not only us, our health too. I will take the opportunity to speak about, since my fellow driver said everything I want to say, and they still have 1 minute, so I would like to speak about another issue, which is a robotaxi. And this Waymo is coming here to the city and taking they're gonna take out jobs. So I drive EV Tesla car for a year, and I always use self-driver to see when is the extermination of our driver and when our family is gonna starve because the Waymo. But the truth about, I wanna know who did give the test and approved for these cars, where those cars, I'm gonna say this because I know New Yorkers care about their pets and their kids. So me driving self-driving, I have noticed that those cars, I'm talking about Tesla, that offering $30 to do a test in New York City, does not recognize dogs, does not recognize stroller. So if you see somebody crossing intersection with dog, the car does not see the dog. I drive Tesla. I was going to bring those documentation so you see exactly what I'm talking about, but I can bring more evidence to show stroller too. It's like if two people crossing and having stroller, you see just two people crossing.
Thank you.
You are very welcome. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yes,
Thanks.
thank you. Thank you to this panel. The next panel we'll have will include Jacky Lin, Kevin Zhuang, Lisa Rosa, Desmond West, Paul Bader, Jimo Uli, and I'm sorry, I cannot read the last name. You can get started, just come off and mute, ask everybody, adhere to the 2-minute rule. If you have testimony that goes over 2 minutes, you can always submit written testimony to be a part of the record. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for this hearing and thank you for having me. I'd like to start off with a joke that I would always say. In New York, you either have 90 jobs or 90 roommates. I happen to have 90 jobs, and with that being said, I've been a TLC rideshare driver for a little bit over 10 years. I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit. I've been a concierge for residential high-rise luxury buildings in New York City for 20 years. I've always had a love for TLC driving because it's always been a security blanket for me. When I became a mom for the first time, it allowed me to have flexible hours. When I wanted to pursue anything entrepreneurial, it allowed me to do so. When I would work for employment and I was being treated unfairly for whatever reasons, I always had a security net so that, you know what, I didn't really need the job. So it always was my escape route to just still be able to make ends meet. Just last week, I was wrongfully terminated from my concierge position. I was making top pay. You know, we were fighting to go union, and for them to ununionize, I was terminated. Right now, I'm fighting that case as well. But you know what? If I didn't have the TLC opportunity, I wouldn't be able to pay my bills off of unemployment with a cap of $500. You know, $500. I go to the supermarket, I buy three items, and that's already half my bill right there. Like, let alone pay a bill, pay rent. You know, let's not forget we're the ones that keep everyone going. We take you places. You know, we were here when the world was shut down. We were here during COVID. We were here when we didn't know what the virus was. We were here. we were still moving. We were out there. We didn't know what we were dealing with, and we were there. We didn't have any relief. You know, we were still paying our fees, still paying insurance. Right now, I'm paying $5,000 a year for insurance. You know, when I go outside just for the day, you know, it's like a battlefield out there, and we're under attack.
Thank
you know?
you. I just asked that if you could submit the rest of your testimony in writing. And just to be clear, is there a piece of legislation that you are
Yeah, I want to
support?
say no to Waymo. I need my job. I need job security. I need parking. I need release. I have perimenopause.
Anything
I
in
have a weak
terms
bladder.
anything in terms of the legislation being heard today, support or no support? Do you
1,000% support beyond that.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Good morning, Ms. Chairwoman. My name is Desmond West. I'm the owner of Royal Rose Transportation, or a commuter van that operates in Brooklyn. I want to also say thank you to the governor for bringing in the commuter van stabilization program. And I want to commend you for trying to bring the commuter van up to standard where it's supposed to be. But we cannot make progress without enforcement. That is the key to bring back the illegals back to being legal, because there's a lot of guys out there that once they test the waters of being illegal, it is more profitable being illegal than be legal, even with the subsidy that they get from the governor. So the only way that they can come back into the fold is through enforcement. Right now on Flatbush Avenue, there's only 3 legal vans and over 250 illegal vans. The commissioner the DOT commissioner state that they made 9 enforcements through the year on commuter van. This is the 9th month. That means there's only 1 enforcement per month. But there was only 1 enforcement on Flatbush for the whole year so far. And these guys, when the enforcement come, they don't leave because there's only 1 or 2 or 3 cars. They can work around that. They have their cell phone that they mobilize each other and come back, go around. If they know where the police are working, they detour them and come back around because there's not enough enforcement out there to stop them. So I want to commend you and the governor for what you're doing, but we need more from TLC and NYPD.
Thank you. Please turn the mic on.
Certainly, of course, I should be used to this by now. Nice to see you again, Madam Chair. My name is Paul Bader. I'm a lifelong New Yorker. I'm a former driving instructor in the city of New York. I'm a former truck driver in the city of New York. I'm a former taxi driver in the city of New York. And I have the honor of being the official designee of the City Council delegation from Queens, as you know, to be the Queens Commissioner on the TLC at the current time for the next few years. But I want to make it clear that today I'm speaking on behalf of myself individually, not on behalf of the TLC, which was earlier represented by our chair. I'm here to speak on all 5 issues quickly as I can. Some take a little more time than others. Relative to Local Law 1347, which was referenced earlier, which had to do with enforcing violations of unlicensed commuter vans. Personally, yes, I am in favor of that. And as it also has been said earlier, we would like to see that expanded. We have major problems, particularly at the airports, relative to, in spite of the fact we have 100,000 plus licensed vehicles picking up passengers, we still have a huge problem at the airports with unlicensed cars and drivers who are very aggressive in going after particularly international travelers who arrive in the city. It's a particular problem of JFK more than LaGuardia, but if we could wrap that in, that would be a big advantage. Local Law 1346 to relation required study is also something that corresponds with that, and yes, of course, I'm in favor of that. The 115, which has to do with an app, I think that this is going to be very important we are going to have to see what we're going to do relative to the increase in the number of EVs that are used for hire vehicles, particularly. And but I think that what the challenge is going to be and addressed in this app is the differentiation between an EV charging station for a taxi.
I'm just going to ask you to wrap up. If you could submit the rest of your testimony in writing.
Don't I get 2 minutes, I thought, for each piece of legislation?
No, you get 2 minutes for the full. Thank you, Mr. Bader, but you can submit the rest.
I have nothing. Can I speak on the other two quickly, please?
No, because I want to respect everyone's time. It's the same rules for everyone here. But we can get it in writing. I appreciate you testifying. Thank you, Mr. Bader.
你先说，然后后来我帮你翻译。这个我先说。
大家好，我是一名网约车司机。我今天来到这里，是为了支持因特1000法案。我强烈要求听证会通过这个法案。感谢给我这次机会，让我能在这里发言。大家都知道，在纽约，尤其是在曼哈顿，有很多找不到车位，我们的车位也有限。我们所有的网约车司机，我们的网约车在纽约的安全的停车位是不足的，但是有很少，成千上万的这个网约车司机呢找不到车位。我们在休息的时候，我们找不到休息的地方，我们也买不到吃的东西，我们也无法上厕所，这个呢，成为了我们在纽约休息我们的停车位的问题是一个老大难。有一次我在曼哈顿肚子突然疼痛，但我找不到车位，我只能转好几条街才找到一个公共厕所，但是没有车位，我只能围绕着公共厕所去转圈，转了3个圈我都找不到停车位，我没有办法，只有找了一个位置停了下来，去趟厕所。但是我回来了，我的车玻璃上有了一张罚单，115块钱的罚单放到我的车玻璃前边。这个罚单在我来讲是非常非常贵重，我一天的工资就因为一张罚单没了。既然浪费了我的时间，又浪费了我的金钱，司机没有办法正常的休息，长期没有办法去厕所，这是健康的问题，也出现了风险。需要多长时间？
Thank you. You're going to translate?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I'm a ride-hailing driver, and I have come here today to support the Intro 1000 bill and strongly urge the passage of this bill at the hearing. I'm grateful for the opportunity to speak. As you all know, it is extremely difficult to find a legal parking spot in New York City. Especially in Manhattan, it is particularly challenging for ride-hailing drivers as there are insufficient areas for them to park and rest. Only a few designated spots are available for ride-hailing drivers, but there are thousands of ride-hailing vehicles in New York City. As a result, the drivers face significant issues when it comes to resting, buying food, eating, and using the restroom. Once while I was in Manhattan, I suddenly experienced severe stomach pain and needed to use the restroom. However, I couldn't find a legal parking spot after walking several blocks. I finally found a public restroom. I circled around the area nearby the restroom for 3 times, and I still couldn't find a legal parking spot. In the end, I had no choice but to find a parking spot and then walk to the restroom. When I returned, I have a $115 ticket that was placed on my windshield. The ticket was extremely expensive, a single parking spot costing the equivalent of my entire daily wage, minus the expenses. Not only did I waste money, but I also wasted my time. Drivers cannot get proper rest, and the inability to use the restroom for an extended period poses risk to their health. Not having a legal parking spot available when needed can lead to severe physical health issues. Our ride-hailing drivers ensure the smooth functioning of the city, and it is not only fair that they also enjoy a normal working environment. Intro 1000 is a smart and straightforward idea that will benefit all New Yorkers and ride-hailing drivers in the city. I'm grateful for the community and ask you to support this bill. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then my turn.
Give me a name.
Jacky. Jacky.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. 1 second. Good afternoon, Councilman. My name is Jacky, and I'm a for-hire vehicle driver and organizer with the Independent Drivers Guild. I'm here today to speak on behalf of thousands of drivers who face real-life challenges every day, especially around something as basic as parking and taking a break. In places like Manhattan, drivers have nowhere to stop, no access to restrooms, or even a place to grab a quick coffee without the risk of a $115 ticket. These fines don't only hurt our wallets, they punish us for trying to meet basic human needs. No one should have to choose between their health and their jobs. This is more than an inconvenience, it's a matter of dignity. Driver needs safe, legal spaces to pause without fear of fines. We are working long hours to support our families, and the system makes that harder than it needs to be. We are deeply concerned about the expansion of autonomous vehicles testing in our cities as well. Companies like Waymo are not here to share the road, they're here to replace workers. They put thousands of drivers' livelihood at risk. As a city, we should be protecting jobs, not paving way for their elimination. You know, the saying, you give them an inch, they take a mile. That's exactly what Waymo and the other autonomous vehicle companies are going to do. And finally, I want to raise another issue about accidents involving passengers who are doing cyclists. Even though it's affecting the drivers in a way of them not being able to buy insurance afterwards, it's not the driver's fault, it's the passenger's fault. They're the one that opened the door without having to look on what happens afterwards. And with the current TLC rules, drivers are often penalized if they are locking drivers in the vehicles while they do so. It's clearly not their fault. So a single incident can lead to an insurance company, TLC insurance company, blacklisting the drivers and not able for them to buy TLC insurance, even regular insurance. They have to fall back on New York State insurance, which is extremely expensive. A loss that nearly impossible for drivers to recover because they have no more jobs after that. They cannot join to another insurance company at all for at least 5 years. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Next, we will hear from Corey Burak. Thank you to the panel.
Okay. I'm ready to go.
Starting time.
Thank you. Amalgamated Transit Union thanks Majority Whip Selena Brooks Power and the Council Committee on Transportation for Infrastructure for this opportunity to share ATU's ongoing concerns on the impact of vans that operate illegally on MTA bus service, particularly for the residents of Southeast Queens. This afternoon, I'm representing Luis Elzadi, the ATU Local 1056 President and Business Agent, and ATU New York State Legislative Conference Board Financial Secretary. I also delivered his testimony on behalf of Conference Board President Tom Mason and ATU Locals 726, 1179, and 1181. All of our members serve the riding public. ATU remains concerned about efforts that would effectively allow vans to replace bus public transit, especially in Southeast Queens. We frequently testified how vans licensed and unlicensed illegally and unsafely operate along bus routes and deprive the MTA of revenue that it can reinvest in bus service. This de facto privatization of bus service in Southeast Queens especially impacts students, our seniors, working people, and bus riders who benefit from the Fair Fares program. Public transit serves as a lifeline for many New Yorkers to shop, see their doctor, attend worship services, visit family members, and do many of the things that enrich their lives. Working families need safe, equitable, and efficient transportation more often than not, including in Queens. That means reliance on our existing bus public transit system operated by the MTA. Illegally operating vans, unlike MTA buses, remain ADA inaccessible and foster more congestion along bus routes and at already heavily congested bus and subway transit hubs. These vans often race along city streets, putting all at risk and causing many pedestrian accidents. ATU made these and other points at meetings of the Commuter Van Working
Thank
Group.
you. Your time has expired.
Thank you, Corey. You could submit the rest in writing. I just have a follow-up question for you. Can you please state whether or not ATU is in support or opposition of the two commuter van bills being heard today?
Yes, I can. That was what I was going to say next before being cut off, that we support Intro 13 1346 and 1347, but on 1347, we recommend that the study also includes enforcement.
Got it. Thank you so much, Corey. Next,
And
we
we'll
will
submit it
hear.
in writing.
Sorry?
And we'll submit the whole document in writing.
Perfect. Thank you. Next, we'll hear from Michael Simon.
Oh, thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yeah, if you could talk a little bit louder, that'd be helpful for me.
Okay. I will try. I wasn't expecting to be called right now, but let me put things together. Okay, so in the 1930s or so, they created the medallion to ease congestion, and that meant that if you wanted to be a taxi, you had to be a medallion instead of just having a car. And then at some point after that, they made an allowance for a base with cars that weren't taxis. The creation of bases was not meant to be added taxis. These cars were summoned from the base to the passenger, picked you up, dropped you, and then the car coming back to the base. These cars were not given the right to cruise, which is the problem with the basic problem with what's going on right now, because if you cruise, you need a place to park and you need a place to go to the bathroom. There was a clear distinction between the base form of transportation and cruising taxis. That distinction became blurred when the city council okayed the use of black cars to wander, to cruise, looking for an e-hail like taxis, using an app like a street hail, instead of returning to the base where, by the way, the base had provided bathrooms. Let's go back to the 1930s when the aldermen issued medallions under Mayor Fiorello LaGuardia, and let's say that the e-hail was available then as now. Would aldermen have created a category of licenses called high volume for hire vehicles along with taxi medallions? If medallions were able to use the e-hails as well? I sincerely think no. Easing congestion was the primary motive back then as it is now. Why would they have created more vehicles or an extra class of vehicles when medallions were able to do it? Because the city approved the use of black cars to cruise, that is why there is such an ongoing issue about those drivers going to the bathrooms. The base should be providing bathrooms to the drivers. And once the car drops off a fare, they should be heading back.
Thank you so much. Your time has expired.
Thank you. Sergeants, I ask that you remove anyone that is making noise at this time in the chamber. If we have inadvertently missed anyone that has registered to testify today and has yet to have been called, please use the Zoom hand function if you are testifying remotely, and you will be called in the order that your hand has been raised. If you are testifying in person, please come to the dais. Hearing none, I thank everyone who took time out today to come and testify. For those who have been unable to testify or was unable to provide their entire testimony, we encourage you to submit it in writing to testimony@council.nyc.gov. And again, we thank everyone for their participation in today's hearing. This hearing is now closed.